Before the unification, before the empire, there was another time. Hi, I'm your host Heatwave, and today we'll delve into the Age of Shroud. My mother once said there was a time before empires, before kings and tyrants. The name of this era I care not too much, for it's just a means to an end. Welcome back to the Wings of Fire spin-off series, Empire of Pareena. In today's episode, we're going to look at the grossly undocumented age before the empire, the Age of Shroud. Now, as a historian, I was dreading this broadcast. There's just not enough information out there. I've visited Shady Sands. I have scoured the Imperial Library within the bastions of the palace. And for the love of me, for all that is good laid upon me by the three moons above, I can't find any reliable information regarding this era of our history. So I'll try and put my findings into something cohesive. The Age of Shroud is the common name given by historians to the historical era that came before the War of Unification. The problem that most historians have when exploring this time is nailing down the integrity of their findings. It's evident that dragons of this age were not concerned that much with history, as we would find widespread documentation if they do. While I can trace the ink pot back way before the War of Unification, it was made of expensive squid ink, and its widespread use didn't happen until sometime during the 4th cycle. That we know. From the documents I was able to study, the common dragon from around this age didn't have any understanding of vocabulary or reading, or it was more common for the wealthy class of each respective winglet to understand how to read and write. The major question still stands, of course. Where did the dragon race come from? Did we evolve from lesser creatures? Sure, there's the story of the three sisters, but that's just a bedtime story for dragonettes. It doesn't have any real grounds, right? Magic doesn't exist. Surely it doesn't exist. What historians do know, or at least I speculate, is that each winglet was able to form some level of continent-spanning communication, probably through couriers carrying verbal messages. From evidence shows they developed the ability to mine, chop wood, create fabrics, temper metal, mold clay, and bejewel their belongings. A lot of documents regarding the War of Unification state this fact, so they must have had a good understanding of manufacturing and forging before the war. The only known records from before the War of Unification were held in the former Sandwing Castle, the Black Obelisk. Unfortunately, many of these documents were written in Old Sandwing tongue, a language mostly forgotten. I can translate snippets, and from what was recorded, these documents were able to explain some basic construction layouts, how to build a plate from clay, a short story about the burning, and other administrative documentations, military organization, and equipment numbers, which we have an abundance of. These documents have been relocated to the Grand Imperial Library in the Imperial Palace. But some of these documents still remain a mystery, even to me. Well, since we got that out of the way, we'll be able to focus on our next topic, the anticipated War of Unification. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, why don't you consider leaving a like and a comment and staying tuned for more, or checking out the channel for some of our other episodes. This is Heatwave, signing off.